Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and with a special guest, the third couple of Big Blue in the Bronx. Also with Alex and Luca, friends of the channel, the twins, the Wonder Twins. When the princess, the other, gets dates with the who was it?
Kim Jones.
Kim Jones. And the other one likes Nickelback.
That's right.
I'm going to Bumper. What's up? Shout out to Bumper in the chat. Hi, so John. Simple, easy question to start off with. How do you know the twins?
How do I know Alex and Luca? Well, I went to school with them, and that's how they started a channel, and they started bringing me on last year. The first ever show I did with them was last year's MLB trade deadline, and they kept bringing me back for other stuff, and then it just became a regular thing because the people started to like me. So that was always good to see, and I love the community we built at Big Blue in the Bronx, and we're gonna keep growing. And Jose, you're part of that community, so
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
No problem.
And you are now a part of my community, so welcome. And now let's talk about what I asked before we started. How you got your name?
Pretty much it was just it was more so of the fans they saw that I was getting angry a few times, and one time I really had a good rant. Pretty sure it was on the Jets, but I can't even remember at this point. And
I'm pretty sure it was after you guys drafted Will McDonald.
Well, I think
that's a joke.
No, I know. I think that I think it just it started out with Angry John, and then someone said Professor, and I just put the two together, and that's how we started. But shout out to Armin, one of my people in my chat. So
yes, and one of the people in my chat and the chat over at.
Yep.
And let's talk Jets. Shout out to Armin.
God bless you.
Excuse me. I hate choking like the nuts. Yeah. Sorry, John. I know you're a nuts fan.
You're good. You're good, man.
But yeah. All right, let's start talking some New York sports. Let's start with the team we have in common. The New York just end the season. Jets, Jets. How do you feel after Sunday night's horrible, disgusting Sunday night game?
Well, for anyone that did see, and Armin in our chat, he says beautiful rant last night. I completely went off because I had it with this team. This team, the general.
Go ahead and repeat that rant here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same thing as last year.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. The general manager did it poor job of giving Aaron Rodgers a proper backup quarterback. Okay, he had so many options, but he's elected to keep Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Then throughout the season struggles, Robert Saleh doubles and triples down on him, and really, really just continues to stand by him, even though he struggled. Although Sunday night he was okay, but then he also says he's not changing the play calling, even though we see that Nathaniel Hackett is struggling at the offensive coordinator position. So it's just a whole mess, and it's very hard to watch right now.
Of, of course he's not changing. Psychologist Nathaniel Hackett is VFL with Aaron Rodgers, who may never come back, unfortunately.
Possible.
And if he does come back, he's gonna say, "Why did you demote my best friend?" And one of the reasons I agreed to come to the Jets. That's why you don't demote Nathaniel Hackett, even though I would have.
Mm-hmm.
I would have said, "You want to go play for Nathaniel Hackett? We'll find you another team and get our second round pick back, or maybe even better, get a first round pick."
I mean,
from a team like the Steelers, the Bears, not the Bears, maybe even the Giants. Yeah, they need a quarterback.
they certainly
Sorry,
do.
Alex. Sorry, Scrub. Oh my God, Scrub 0. Who co-host with me from time to time? I don't know if you ever.
I know who
yeah,
Scrub Brewer is. Yes.
You talked to him in your channel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. But
that's okay.
Anyway, on Friday, I had a live, and I went out on Joe Douglas and called him Joe Jelly Donut Douglas.
Jelly Donut Douglas. That might have to be the new name for him. Jelly Donut Douglas.
Jelly Donut Douglas. Because he looks like a giant jelly donut.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, but he is him and Saleh have truly run this team into the ground this year because they built it for Rodgers and they had no backup plan for him, which has shown now, and it is just they are abysmal to watch. Sometimes whether it's the receivers, the running backs, they released Michael Carter, by the way. I didn't know if you saw that.
Yes.
They released him.
Carter is gone.
Mm-hmm. He's
good
gone.
Riddance. Good riddance.
Yeah,
bad rubbish. As they say in England. Anyway, you were saying?
Yeah, no. So whether it's the receivers and running backs not making a play, whether the penalties, man, the penalties were so crucial. I mean, just holding penalties, chop block penalties, false starts. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what week it is. We always seem to take penalties. So that just shows how undisciplined Saleh's team is, which it is his fault, by the way. It is 100% his fault.
Because he's supposed to be this great leader of men.
And he's not.
Allegedly. Easy for me to say today. Sorry, folks, I'm having a tough day today with this disability of mine.
That's fine.
But I'm getting through it. So, who do you think will be the starting quarterback next season for the Jets, and the backup quarterback next season for the Jets?
I'm kind of hoping it's still Rodgers. I still, if the season's truly over now, I hope that
You still want it to be Rodgers, even?
Yeah, I still think he's
lack of an offensive line.
Well, they need to build that offensive line better. That's for sure.
No, they don't.
They should have done that last year. I said they needed an offensive tackle badly, and they didn't address that issue at all. And the only real change they did to that offensive line was get Joe Tippmann, but even he's been banged up, so that's kind of hurt. But if you want a backup quarterback, there's plenty of guys, plethora of guys available. You could get a Josh Dobbs, you can get a Jacoby Brissett, you can get a Case Keenum, just someone who can a pro's pro, someone who can run the offense.
Someone who doesn't date women older than his mother. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Gotta say allegedly so I don't get sued.
No, of course.
I went on the roast last week because Zach wasn't on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk Jets that you would not believe. Actually, you wouldn't believe because you know how crazy I am. You know how crazy I am. John?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Let me share this on social media real quick.
Go ahead, man.
Before I do, let's get started talking about the, God help us, the New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the Knicks?
Well, they're kind of like that up and down team that we haven't really gotten off on a winning streak. It feels like we win one, we lose one. There's some positives there, but there's also some negatives to go around with this team. First off, I've been saying it. They need a superstar at next season. What they're doing now is promoting the in-house growth of this team, and it's really shown with a like of an RJ Barrett, who I think has actually stepped up quite nicely. I think this is the best version he's been in his career. You know, whether you talk about him scoring, whether his field goal percentage has been better, the free throws have been better, the true shooting percentage is better, the defense is much better, and you need to, you can realize you can keep him as a very good complementary star, but they need that big time star. And one guy that hampers this roster majorly is Julius Randle at times.
We got the guy from Big Blue in the Bronx.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes. We're making sure to shout you out too, so we can get some viewers in here and some comments and questions, of course. But with Julius Randle, man, he's too much of a one-trick pony at times. He doesn't have the basketball IQ to be an elite level player on a consistent basis. You know, that's why you see him make the boneheaded play. It's why you see him force a lot of bad shots. And I think the offseason, they need to get rid of him and bring in a big time star. And I'm hoping it's Joel Embiid at this point.
What if I told you, and these are just rumors I've heard, that there is a trade out there where you could get Joel Embiid for Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and I believe a 2027 first round pick. I believe. This is
I would.
At the record, allegedly. So I don't get sued. Allegedly.
No, you're correct. Because it is just a rumor, but I would still do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. Now I love RJ Barrett, but RJ Barrett is, remember, if we deal him, we have to get him in the right trade because he's having his best season now. What that means is his value is as high as it's ever going to be. So you better hope he's not going to turn into a superstar player. But the thing I don't like about Joel Embiid is that Embiid is not. What's up, man? One of our guys. But the thing I don't like about Embiid is that he's not a playoff performer, but he's still a very talented offensive player. That's right. He'll at least bring you there. Very talented offense player, can play with his back to the basket, can shoot, can rebound and play defense like a true 4 or 5, however you want to have it. But also, if you bring in Embiid, that's a spot out for Mitchell Robinson, in my opinion. But
is that really such such a bad thing though? Mitchell Robinson, in my offense, productivity isn't the best.
I love Robinson on the defensive end and the rebounding, but with a guy that just cannot really score from 10 feet out from the basket, it really hurts in your offense today. And a guy that cannot shoot free throws, it really hurts in your offense. So they're going to have to finagle something this offseason, because I don't think with this current roster and group that they can go further than they did last year, in my opinion.
Well, they had a game on ESPN last week.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who they were.
They were facing the Spurs. We called that game. We were facing the Spurs.
Right. And Mitchell Robinson just let a player cut straight to the basket without even trying to stop him. I'm like, what the hell kind of defense is that? It was on a fast break, but nonetheless, run! You're jogging out there. Run, Mitchell. Run.
You tell him. I'm going to start calling you Coach Jose. That's what I'm going to do.
Go ahead. I could be a better coach than...
You know what? On our channel, we actually, you know what? Maybe we'll do a wheel of coaches, and we'll put you on the wheel.
Go ahead. I could be a better coach than Tom Thibodeau.
You can do it. You can do it, man. I believe in you.
Thank you. I actually helped coach my high school baseball team.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Was fun. Back in the day, this was almost 15 years ago, but still very fun. No, 13 years ago. What the hell am I talking about? I'm aging myself. Good grief. Anyway, I could also outcoach Robert Sala, but who couldn't? Really, who couldn't outcoach Robert Sala at this point?
No, unfortunately, like I said, he's awful.
He needs to be fired immediately.
I agree.
Him and his stupid phrases. We shoot ourselves in the foot. Too many inflicted wounds. We ran out of, and my favorite, we ran out of humans. How do you run out of humans? How in God's good name do you run out of humans? You have a 55-man roster. Go ahead.
Can I demonstrate the Robert Sala face on the sideline?
Yes.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second. Sorry about that. I'm going to give you the solo layup.
Oh, the solo? Okay, I'll wait for that.
Sorry about that. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. There you go. That's perfect. I gotta make that into a drop.
You can, yes, you can. That was Robert Sala in when he's on the sideline looking clueless.
It really was. Looking like Taz from ECW. For all you wrestling fans. Shout out to wrestling, but that's another story for another video for another day. Don't know if you know who that is, John, but if you do, good for you.
I'm not the biggest. I don't watch too much wrestling anymore.
It's already.
Is Armin saying in our chat? He's saying Robert Sal is a schmuck, and he's saying the schmuck is clueless.
He is.
He is.
He really is.
Mm-hmm.
The schmuck really is clueless. Armin.
He is. No, it's sad but true. He really is. He's clueless, all right.
Antonio Pierce, who has only coached 2 games for the Las Vegas Raiders, is a better coach than Robert Saleh.
No, you're right. He is. He is. I hate to say it, but it's true. It's 100% true.
The schmuck is old. It's clueless. I like that. I'm gonna pin that comment to the top of the chat.
Oh,
Bumper! What's up? Hold on, let me pin that comment real quick. You keep talking about Robert Saleh.
Yeah,
John,
sure. So
please, I'm enjoying it. It's entertaining.
So right. So with the Salah, right? It's not that and I listen to what a lot of other people say. With Salah, he doesn't get in anyone's face like a Brian Dable. You know, he doesn't hold anyone accountable because not only you watch that Sunday night game, CJ Uzama, had one penalty, then he had another penalty on the Breece Hall touchdown run, which they haven't scored an offensive touchdown
yes, he did.
since the Giants game.
It was a holding.
Another holding penalty, no accountability.
It looked like a UFC takedown more than it did.
Yeah, he's hugging the guy. He gave him a nice bear hug.
Yes, he did.
And they released. Thank God they released Michael Carter today, who had a terrible chop block penalty. I think it was in the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It was. If I'm
you're right. You are
right. But he had a horrific penalty that killed a play, and it's just like there's nobody being held accountable for anything. Like what does it take for a Jets player to get benched? Start benching guys. I don't care if you got to use practice squad guys. If guys are making the same mistakes, start benching them.
He's afraid to bench them.
Yeah, he is.
He wants to be their.
He wants to be their friend.
Yeah. Not their coach. Their friend.
Mm-hmm.
Their best friend.
Yeah.
In the whole wide world.
Right. You're absolutely right on that. I'm in Jose. I am 100% agreements, and so is Luca when we talked about it last night.
He wants to be Barney.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be your best friend. or Elmo. Whichever you prefer.
You know what? I'm sure Elmo and Barney can do a better job of coaching than this clown.
Right. I agree. Now, back to the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And back to that disaster. Jalen Brunson is the only great player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
The rest are just good to average to good. Would you disagree with me?
I'd say that with RJ Barrett, he's trying to become that all-star. But other than that, I think Emmanuel Quickly is a really great bench player. So I don't want to call them exactly average for their role, but there's
average to good.
I'd say they're good players, but I wouldn't call anyone else an elite player.
Except Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I like all of your team, except one.
Which one?
Your baseball team.
You don't like
the New York Mets. I myself am an Angels and Yankees guy.
Okay.
gotta give me strength when it comes to the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta give me strength when it comes to the Angels. We haven't won in 21 years.
Yeah. So
21 freaking years.
yeah, no.
We haven't made the playoffs since the Nets were in the World Series. That was what,
Yeah.
20?
The
That was what,
Mets.
2015?
Yeah, the Mets made the World Series back in 2015. Oh, you're a Braves fan? Oh, come on.
Yes, he is. Well, he lives in Georgia.
Oh, okay, that's
So,
why.
yes, he's a Braves fan.
Mm-hmm. Well, my can I give my 2 cents on the Angels?
Yes, go ahead.
Um, well, I think it's time to fully rebuild. Otani is going to
I
leave.
agree.
Trout needs to be traded because of the contract, and he's just
I
not
don't
the same
know
player.
about that.
You don't want to
I
trade him?
don't know. No.
You think he's an
I'd
Angel
rather
for
have him. I'd rather have him retire as an Angel. I
life? Okay.
would trade. I would love to trade Anthony Rendon, who's good for nothing.
Well, I mean, he's
Besides,
also
I
got
had
a big contract, so I don't know if anyone would take it. But the reason the Angels are such a bad team, in my opinion, is their owner, Artie Moreno.
he's an
Who,
idiot.
yeah,
I already made a video about it.
yeah, I'm actually pretty sure I've seen the video that you have, but or either you told me once before, but Moreno is just he's a owner that is over his head. Uh, the first couple
But
years,
it
yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't help when your head is up your ass.
Yeah, exactly. But I think full rebuild is coming for the Angels next year because I think Otani leaves.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he might be in LA.
Unfortunately, I agree.
I think he stays in LA though.
Oh God, don't tell me
I
that.
think he might be a Dodger. It's possible.
I think he goes to San Diego,
Ooh, that would
even
be
though
very
they can't afford to pay him. He
yeah.
goes to San Diego.
Yeah, no, that's also an interesting possibility. He can go to the Cubs. He can go to the Rangers. The Braves have been rumored as well, so we'll see where he ends up, man. He's the best player in baseball. I'll tell you that.
Yes, he is. No matter what Stephen A. Smith says.
I don't listen to
God,
him.
I cannot stand Stephen A. Smith
Hmm.
for. I just can't stand him.
I don't listen. I've kind of tuned into a lot more podcasts and stuff that's not like I still listen to certain people just because I respect their opinion on the game, but I don't listen to like a lot of the ESPN stuff.
Mainstream.
Yeah, a lot of the mainstream and ESPN stuff. Now there's certain guys
Yes, for you.
that I listen to because I like what they have to say or because they're not all so brainwashed. But like for example, I think there's some very talented um, people at ESPN, and I think they should stick to one sport. But I I don't like some of the personalities that they put. I also am not a biggest fan of WFAN. Uh, for a few guys on there that annoy me,
Mad
but
Dog.
no,
Mad Dog.
not so much of Mad Dog.
Mad Dog gets on my nerves.
But he's getting up there. I think he's starting to lose it. He used to be really good, but now it's like a little different.
Now he's turned from Mad Dog into one of my chihuahuas.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that out loud? Oh well.
It's okay.
Ask me if I care. How do you like this? The way this is going so far, John? Are
I
you
love it, man.
enjoying? Are you enjoying yourself?
I'm always enjoying myself.
Good. I'm glad. I want all my guests to enjoy themselves and feel like they're at home when they come onto this channel, or as I like to call it, the asylum.
The
Because I'm
asylum.
crazy. Because I am crazy. I'm just crazy.
We're all crazy. If anyone says they're not, they're lying.
You are correct. You are absolutely correct, John.
Hmm.
Hmm. Now let's talk hockey for a second. Your
Okay.
Rangers are doing very well. Last time I
Hmm.
checked.
That's correct.
Correct me if I'm mistaken.
No, you are absolutely correct on that one. You are. They kind of have their bye week this week, um, but right now they set atop of the Metro at a 11-2-1 record, 23 points, 5 point lead over the Carolina Hurricanes, and they are 9-0-1 in their last 10 games. They are one of the best teams in the league to start out. Maybe two teams that have been better in total, but they're right up there, man.
I wish my LA Kings were doing that good, but we have to deal with the Golden Knights and the Colorado
Mhm. The mhm,
Avalanche and
mhm.
every other team in the
Yeah,
Western
it's a tough
Western
West. I
Division.
mean, the Kings have played pretty good though. I mean, you got some good young players, but Kopitar and Doughty still lead that team, man.
They still
So
got it.
they
They
still they
still
still
got it.
lead that team. They
Hopefully
do it.
we don't. Hopefully we don't trade one of them before the trade deadline.
No, they
That would
wouldn't.
be a huge mistake.
They're a playoff team, the Kings. I'm telling you, your team's a playoff team in my opinion. I like your team.
Well, I only bring that up because the Chicago Blackhawks had to do the same thing back in
Hmm.
2018, I believe,
Yeah,
when they
that's when
traded
they had to blow it up.
Patrick Kane.
Yep,
Yeah,
Kane, Taves no more. Yep, you're right on that.
Towns, Kane, they both left, and it hasn't been the same since then. See, I know a little hockey as well,
Hmm. I know a
just
lot
enough,
about that.
just enough to get by.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you've seen, like, when Luca was on the channel, but I actually had him interview Robert Sala.
Oh, really?
Yes, you have to go back and watch that.
I think I
It'll,
know what you're referring to. Who knows? Maybe that same Robert Sala will come on our
let's
channel.
let's just let's just say, like a famous celebrity who cleans floors. Let's just leave it at that. Shout out to Robert Sala,
Yeah,
the
shout
fake
him out.
Robert Sala, not the real one. He gets no shout outs
Yeah, that's right. We're not
ever.
shouting him out. No way.
No, not gonna happen.
Mm-mm. I refuse.
As do I.
Refuse.
Boo the Rangers. I don't have a problem with the Rangers.
No,
If
I
it
know
was
Armin.
yes,
Armin's a Penguins fan,
if it
so we're rivals.
yes, the New York Rangers. I thought he was
No,
talking about the Texans.
Armin's
That's
a Mets
where
fan like me. We're both Mets fans.
that's where I get confused with teams who have
The same
the
name.
same
Yep.
name but play different sports.
Hmm.
Well, if you don't like the Rangers, you must hate the Kings. I'm just saying. And yeah, I know you hate the Kings because we beat you in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, in 2014, that was almost 10 years ago now. Holy crap.
Yes, it was. We are getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. That was a what was I in middle school? I think it was in 8th grade when that happened. My God.
I had just graduated high school.
Hmm.
hmm Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Armin's a Mets, Jets, and Penguins fan. What a weird. Why the Pits?
Why the Penguins, Armin?
Yeah, come on, man. Do better.
Please do better. I'm gonna drop the link just for Armin to come on and defend himself.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in that kind of mood. Give me 5 seconds, Armin. 5 seconds. I wasn't planning on this, but why not?
If he wants to defend himself, let him. That's
Right.
all. It's up to him, though.
Yeah. He put the laughing emoji, so I guess he's coming out.
Maybe, yeah.
Let's see. It'll be his first time on my channel, that's for sure. And I'm happy to have new people on the channel.
Of course, and I hope I hope to do these more often too.
Anytime. Anytime. Especially after a big Jets win or loss. Because that's going to do numbers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just being honest.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. You don't no sugarcoating here.
Never with me. Never with me. I don't sugarcoat anything ever.
That's good.
Just ask me what I think about Geno Smith. I won't sugarcoat that either.
I mean, old Geno Smith or new Geno Smith?
Both.
Both?
They're winning the same. Inconsistent as hell.
Yeah, it's very inconsistent. I'll never forget Geno back in the day. Sorry, I gotta crack my back. But
You're good.
and
the link will be in the comment section in about 5 seconds. 5, 4.
3.
It's very slow. 2, 1. 1.5. 1 3/4. Blast off. It's in the chat. Now, there it is.
There it is. If Armin wants to join us.
Armin, come on out, defend yourself and your Penguins. And don't give me any Sidney Crosby crap. Please do not talk about that overrated player.
Oh.
You didn't say that out loud, oh well. I guess Armin's gonna hate me now.
That's okay. No, he won't hate you. He won't hate you. He might try and go. He's gonna come after me now. That's what he's gonna do.
Armin, if you're not busy, feel free to come on up. If you're busy, I understand. But type something in the chat to let me know you're coming up or not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there he is. I see him. He's up here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Got him.
He's going to come at me now because I've turned him against you, against the Penguins.
You didn't turn me for anything.
What's up, guys? Hi, Jose. Hi, John.
What's up, man?
Man.
I actually I'm in my car. I just parked. I just got home from my walk.
Oh, good job. Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jose.
Now, defend your Penguins.
So, when the Penguins I became a Penguins fan since I'm a little kid. So, and they're the team. They're the first team I really got into. I became a Jet fan when Parcells got hired. So when the Penguins were in the Stanley Cup against the Blackhawks, when they went back to back in the '90s, that was the first time I got into hockey. So like seeing them in the Stanley Cup, and when you're a little kid, a lot of things, especially when you see a cute animal like a penguin on a jersey,
Right.
So that's how I became a Penguin fan, and plus a cousin of mine's a Penguin fan. So
Okay. That
I went through a lot. There was supposedly the Chapter 11 bankruptcy when they traded Yager. Supposedly they were supposed to move to Vegas, like, because there was no money in Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Well, then Mario saved them and, got them to stay in Pittsburgh.
Yep, you're right on that.
Yes, you are. We're talking about Mario Lemieux, right?
Correct.
Yes. Yes.
Just
The,
checking.
the Lord and Savior, the God of Pittsburgh.
Well, we know Ben Roethlisberger is the devil of Pittsburgh.
Well, the John was probably Satan when it comes to hockey.
Yeah.
But, we're the oldest team in the NHL right now, with the Capitals being second oldest.
Mhm.
But, I thought they should have started the rebuild last year. They did it. I blame that on Hextall. And I also blame that on the new ownership group, which is the ownership group that owns the Red Sox and, a lot of the soccer teams. What I got out of Sydney, what I got out of this group of Crosby, Malkin, and Letang since 2006 has been like, that's the only thing. Since 2006, 4 Stanley Cup appearances, 3 Stanley Cup victories. Like, I want that for the Jets and the Mets. I want that type of stuff. I'd be happy. You got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I have one question. And you have to answer honestly. Who's the better player? Ovechkin or Crosby?
Okay, so I'll say, they're both tremendous. Apple and oranges. One's a goal-scoring winger, the other's an all-around center. Crosby looks more to get his teammates, the goals and everything. That's why he'll always have more assists than goals. Whereas Ovechkin Ovechkin's like the home run hitter in hockey, like the big slugger, he's the Pete Alonso of hockey. Yeah. The big slugger, so you can't go wrong with either one. But I'm going to be biased here, and there's nothing wrong with being biased sometimes. I'm going to say Crosby.
Wrong answer, but you have the right to be biased.
Listen, we could have had Ovechkin instead of Malkin if Washington chose Malkin, and we would have had Crosby. And I don't know. We might have the same amount of Stanley Cups. We might have more. We might even have less.
You would have had more.
I think you would have had more.
I agree.
Probably would have went 4 for 4.
Yeah, I agree. Imagine Crosby and Ovechkin together. Oh my God.
That's 7 for 7. That would have been 7 for 7. I'm not even lying. I wish I was lying.
I'm happy with the 3 I got in my lifetime. Technically, all 5 are in my lifetime, but talking about adult age.
We know what you mean. I know you answered this last night, but you gotta explain your answer. Why would you rather fire Joe Douglas instead of Robert Sala?
He sat on his dick at the trade deadline. He didn't trade nobody away. He didn't acquire anybody. When that Sunday when we lost 2 offensive linemen, supposedly, according to Brian Costello and his sources in his report, they called up the Vikings about Ezra Cleveland, but then Joe Douglas and his staff decided that Ezra Cleveland was not a fit. When you lose more offensive linemen, there is not a thing about whether they fit the play style or not. You go out and acquire more offensive linemen. Whether they fit or not, that's a different story. That's still on the field.
That sounds like me looking for girls on the weekend. It doesn't matter if they fit or not.
And I know the shit that's coming if Salah's fired, and that shit is known as Nathaniel Hackett. And I don't want Nathaniel Hackett as my head coach.
I don't want to either.
That's why this offseason, this is a question for every fan. Jose, you can answer this too, John. It's either you run it back with this same staff with Aaron Rodgers, you run it back again, or you blow it up. And it's not just firing Joe. You blow it all up. You fire Douglas, you fire Salah, you trade away every tradable asset that you have, from Sauce to Garrett to Breeze
Whoa,
to
whoa, whoa. I'm not blowing it up that much.
you. You trade Aaron Rodgers too. You blow the whole thing up and you start at rock
Okay.
bottom.
John, I'll let you answer. I'll let you answer first. You're the guest.
Yeah, I'm on the fire. This coaching staff, but I understand the realism of that's probably not going to happen this year, and they're probably going to get one full season with Aaron Rodgers. Or
I agree with you, John. I agree, but that's the only. For me, those are the only two situations. You either run it back or start at ground zero, because the new regime you bring in is not attached to any of these players, and they have more. And this team right now has more talented assets to trade away to start a rebuild quicker than Joe Douglas did. Joe Douglas did this on Sam Darnold and Jamal Adams.
Yeah, you're right. But look how even that turned out. It still hasn't got us to winning.
And remember, after next season, after going into next year, you're going into Brees's third season. If you were to have a whole new regime, the talk is going to be: do you pay the running back?
No.
We're going to be in the same situation as the Giants were with Saquon.
You can't right now. You can't pay a Brees Hall contract now, but
no, you can't.
That's why I think you just got to run it back with them next year, and then see what happens.
But they need to come in with a better plan. They cannot do what they did again. Like, they can't have Wilson as the backup. They can't be so negligent with the offensive line. Like, they simply need a whole better plan than this one.
I agree. Look at and Aaron Rodgers took a big pay cut to give them cap space for next season.
He did. That's before the season even started. You're correct on that.
To answer your question,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say blow it up, because if Aaron Rodgers does come back, there's no guarantee that another injury doesn't happen again. Knock on wood that it doesn't happen, but there's no guarantee that he comes back and stays healthy, especially at age 41.
Yeah, they'll be 41 next season. His birthday's in December, I believe.
Those are dangerous cards to play.
Mm-hmm. It's a risk, but they're kind of in this risk that they're taking.
By the way, I expect after the Super Bowl for Aaron Rodgers to go on McAfee and say he's taking a vacation outside of the country or another darkness retreat. I'm expecting him to say he's going to take time to think about coming back next season. I prepared myself for that since the offseason, since they got him, because he did it in Green Bay. He's not going to change and do it here. He's not going to change. He's going to do that here too.
I mean, but he hasn't done anything wrong with us.
No, but that's him. He's going to say, I need to take time and think about everything.
As long as he shows up to work, I don't care what he does outside, if I'm being honest. And I'm not talking about, if he gets hurt like this year, that's really not his fault. It's kind of our fault, in my opinion. But
okay, John.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Time out, because you said that about Aaron Rodgers, but on a show I was watching last week or the week before last, you took a shot at Kyrie, and Kyrie is basically the basketball equivalent of Aaron Rodgers in my
That's
opinion.
where I'm gonna disagree.
Okay, go ahead. I'll hear you out.
Because Aaron Rodgers doesn't let it affect him on the court. At least he still shows up to work every time. Kyrie has let it affect him on the court, where he's gone MIA, and it's affected his team.
there's certain
That
there's certain behind the scenes aspects that have stopped him from being on the court, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to
Yeah.
discuss that, but I've never seen Aaron Rodgers sit out on the court.
yeah, Aaron Rodgers has never said, because of this incident, I'm not playing on
Yeah, he's never
Sunday or
said that.
Monday or Thursday.
Uh,
Never
again,
done that.
more behind the scenes aspects that I don't want to get into at the moment. But yeah, there was the whole I'm immunized but not vaccinated thing in 2020, and he ended up catching a
Hmm.
false positive, I believe, or he caught it.
Yeah,
If
that's the
you know
whole
what
thing.
I'm talking
We
about,
don't have to.
I'm not gonna say what he caught
Mhm.
because YouTube is stupid like that. I'm just being honest. YouTube is stupid like that. You can't disagree with me, John. YouTube is stupid like
No,
that.
I'll never disagree with you.
You can if you want, but
No, I mean, I don't. It's not. I just don't think Rodgers is a Kyrie, in my opinion. That's all. I still look. Bottom line is though, if Rodgers gets if they try and force him back this year and he gets hurt again, then it's like okay, everyone needs to go. That's a main point I want everyone to
I
understand.
agree.
If Rodgers gets hurt again, uh, they need to right ship. GM goes, coach goes, because they're not winning with them. They can't win without Aaron Rodgers. They have zero chance.
Well, it didn't look like they could win with that offensive line in front of Aaron Rodgers.
Hmm. No, you're
So
right.
as long as that offensive line isn't improved,
They got to improve it. There's going to be multiple spots opened on that offensive line. Both tackle spots are going to be open. You might have the left guard position opened, because I'm assuming that we're going to have Titman and AVT. Those are the only two starters that are on the team. I think Newsom makes it as a backup, maybe a backup guard center, like a swing guy
Could
for
be.
the interior.
right?
I don't think Becton is back. Dwayne Brown is definitely not back. I don't know if Tomlinson will be back. If his contract is able to get out of it, with some cap savings, he could be gone.
I don't,
Max Mitchell will be back, but he's more of a backup tackle. You know,
I don't
He's
think
actually done very well, Max Mitchell. I'd like to say that.
I
he,
don't
he
think
held his own against Max Crosby. And I don't know why I don't know why they had him play right guard on Monday night against the Chargers because he held his own against Crosby. He might have held his own against Joey Bosa. Maybe Bosa gets 1.5 sacks or maybe 1 sack.
But I mean, it's those are elite level pass rushers.
yeah.
Guy's a 4th-round guy coming off a blood
And
clot.
it wasn't really Bosa that got you. It was Khalil Mack. Which guy got 5 sacks?
That was the Khalil Mack. He had the 6-sack game earlier this season.
How many did he get against the Jets?
Let me take a look actually because I don't remember the who got what or who was the lead for that game. But I'll take a
I
quick
think
look.
it was Mack, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see. So Bosa actually had two. Bosa had 2.5. Mac had 2. There's the other guy. Tupeloto had 2. Dean Marlowe had 1, and then Morgan Fox had a half a sack. So that's 8 sacks right there.
Eight,
That's your 8.
eight, eight is way
Horrible.
too many.
And they kept going against Billy Turnstile. Guarantee you, I guarantee you, most of those sacks happened against Billy Turner.
Yeah, no, he was awful.
Probably.
Awful.
Probably.
Awful. By Billy Turner.
And I'm afraid that they're going to move Becton to right tackle and have Dwayne Brown play left tackle.
No.
They shouldn't. They should keep Becton. They should keep Becton at left tackle and Max Mitchell at right tackle. Let Dwayne Brown be a backup for this season.
I agree, Ivan. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so let me ask you something with the Michael Carter cut. Do you expect Candyman? I'm going to call him. I don't expect him to get snaps this week as a running back. I expect him just to be on special teams this week to get him, ready and stuff. Like I don't expect him to get snaps at a running back position until the following week.
Can I go first?
Sure,
Jose.
I was letting you. Go ahead.
If they do that, that would be a mistake. Because if Brees or Dalvin Cook gets hurt, they'd be down to one running back the whole game. And not that the Buffalo defense is that great as we saw last night, but you don't want to be down to only one running back that carries the team all game. John, your thoughts?
Well, here's my thoughts with this running back group now that we mentioned Michael Carter's out off this roster, because they're obviously going to let Izzy be active for the first time. But if you watch that Raiders and Jets game, right, the Dalvin Cook actually looked a lot better than he did, but for some reason they didn't go to him.
The Raiders
the
Raiders don't have the best run defense in the NFL.
They don't. Now, I'm not saying to continually give Dalvin Cook more snaps, but if there's a part where Brees Hall looks a little gassed or looks like they're stacking the box too much, don't overuse Brees Hall. Like, you use him, don't get me wrong, but don't kill him into the ground, because you still want him on this roster. You still want him to get the bulk of the carries, but have Dalvin Cook be that change of pace back for a certain amount.
Right.
I agree. I also think, they need help at wide receiver position right now. If you want to get Dalvin Cook more reps, why don't they try to use Brees Hall as a receiver on the outside or even in the slot? He can use him as an underneath routes, crossing routes, shallow routes, out routes.
Yeah, you can. That's also they never do that with him. Never, almost never do that with him.
You can also do the same thing with Izzy. I watched him in college.
Mm-hmm.
He does the same. He does the same exact thing.
You're right. No, you're right.
I watch way too much college football.
I like college too.
You watch more than me.
I love college football. I got my team. Unfortunately, my team is Notre Dame, but
and my team is USC.
Oh.
I'm a Hurricane fan.
Go ahead.
Miami, okay.
Go ahead.
I miss the old days of Jeremy Shockey, Andre Johnson, Sean Taylor, Ed Reed.
Sean Taylor may rest in paradise.
Yes. One of the more tragic stories in the football one of the more tragic football stories because that dude could have been one of the best safeties ever. So
Right.
Also, rest in peace to the Padres owner who sadly passed away today, who was sick.
ouch.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace to him. But maybe now they can afford to actually pay their players without taking
Well,
without
he was actually the one paying the players because he's been sick with a lot. From what I heard on one of the baseball podcasts, he was sick with like Hodgkin's lymphoma twice, and he just decided, you know what, I'm going to pay players. That's why they paid Tatis, Manny, and they tried to go for it and win a World Series. Obviously, it didn't work out for him in the end. But there's a lot of reports that the Padres are trying to cut down payroll. So, like, that's why there's the Soto rumors. Obviously, he's going into the last year of his arbitration and be a free agent after next season.
Would either of you Mets fans? I can't believe I just said that. Would either of you Mets fans go all in for Soto?
Do I think it's gonna happen? No.
No. Would
What
you do it?
Would I
Yeah,
do
I
it?
would.
I mean, I've talked about Juan Soto on our channel before. In terms of the Yankees, I think Juan Soto is a terrific player. His plate discipline is excellent. That's why he's one of the top leaders in walks. He could still hit for power. He could play. You could play him in either corner outfield spot, which unfortunately right now we can't trust Starling Marte to stay healthy. So that's a reason why I would definitely be in on a guy like a Soto. But also the age is on his side. I believe he's still only 24, 25 years old. So
He's 20. He's 25. He's 24. He'll be 25. He'll be 25 when he's a free agent next season.
Yeah, correct. So he's still got the youth. If I'm the Mets, though, this year, I don't throw out so many big contracts. The guy I go after is Yoshinobu Yamamoto because they desperately need pitching. Starter and bullpen is where they really hurt. And they got to figure out where these prospects are going to play or who's worthy of staying on the team because they got a lot of them coming up. So they got to figure it out. And the ones you don't, you get assets for them.
Yes. Like I thought about an out of the box idea. John might not like who I trade for. You might, but he's a young superstar, and I would put him at third base. But I'd call up the Padres about Tatis.
You see, I love Tatis as a player. Would I don't know because he's learning another position. Because remember, he was a natural shortstop, became a right fielder, and he's an excellent right fielder.
And he won the Platinum Glove.
Oh, I know. That's and he's a 5-tool talent.
Didn't he also? Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Jose.
Didn't he also get suspended for PEDs?
That's also
yeah. He had the motorcycle accident.
It's like that's what concerns me a little bit because of the off the field issues, and maybe he just has too much free reign in San Diego. But he's still an excellent player. I just don't think that would happen. I don't think the Padres are going to trade him, if I'm being completely honest.
2 more questions before we go.
Sure.
One to do with the Mets, and we'll end it with the Jets.
Okay.
What do you do with Pete Alonso? I believe is now in the last year of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Do you sign him to an extension? Do you wait to see how the season goes, and then if it's not going that well, trade him, or do you let him play the season out and then wait until basically do what the Angels did it with Ohtani? What do both of you guys think? Afro, first. Afro, go ahead. Ephraim
Oh,
or John, because I think Ephraim froze up. John, go ahead.
not Ephraim.
Oh,
That's Armand.
whichever wants to go first.
You can go first, John. It's
Um,
okay.
I think what's gonna happen is I think they're gonna let him play out the season. I don't think a contract extension is gonna happen now. I think they're gonna let him play out the season, and I think that he will be signed long term. I think there would be too much revolt towards the ownership because Cohen cares a lot about his reputation. To see a guy that is homegrown talent and a guy that can consistently put 40 homers in the seats every year and drive in over 100, 110 runs a season. Because that's what he is. He's a generational power hitter. Okay? You can look at the numbers. You can look at the seasons he's had. He is a generation power hitter. Not many guys can put up 40 homers in this league. Consistently, I should say.
Ephraim.
I agree. I agree. I agree with John that like they're gonna let this ride out for next year and let him hit free agency because I think they also want to see what happens with Soto if Soto does get traded or if he doesn't and he plays out the year in San Diego because I think they would consider signing Soto, who's much younger than they would Pete because Pete's going to be 30 and supposedly a lot of reports are Pete's looking for 10 years. I don't know if they want to. I don't know if they want to give Pete. I don't know if they want to give Pete 10 years. I've brought this up to John before on his show with Luca and Alex. If the Mets were to sign Ohtani, then you trade Pete, and it all has to do with the long-term effect of Ohtani's going to take up the DH role for the length of his contract of 10 plus years, and Pete. When he's at 30, 36, 37, that defense is going to start to go down at first base and he's going to need to be a DH. And we might be in a situation where we DFA'd Robinson Cano. They might have to do that if they were to sign Pete to a long-term deal and I don't want that for Pete. I don't want him to be DFA'd because, he's got up there in age and maybe his hitting's gone down, but his defense has gone down. And you can't leave him out at first base.
The one thing I'll say to that is they are not getting Shohei Ohtani. I've kind of known this for a good portion of the season now, and the reports that are coming out, there's just the Mets are not going to get him. I've come to that realization. I've come to it. Sad.
All right. And the last question. Back to just on the season. Just. What is the final record of the New York Jets by the end of the season? You might have to pull up the schedule.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now. Are you guys ready? We're gonna follow together.
Yes.
All right. So we are in Buffalo this Sunday. I think that's
They are winning. They are winning that game because Josh Allen is overrated.
Well, they did fire their offensive coordinator this morning, so they might change things up.
They used Kafka as a scapegoat. Or Dorsey as a
Ken Dorsey.
Yeah.
As a scapegoat.
All right. I personally don't think they're gonna win, but you know what? If Jose,
I do.
You really also
I do. I do.
You don't?
It'll be a 15-12 ugly win.
Okay. All right. You know what? We'll call the win there. Jets home against the Dolphins. Do we win that?
Dolphins.
Black Friday, we're getting it out. I think they're going to lose back to Buffalo and Miami.
Same here, but
I say they lose to Miami.
All right, so we'll say 1-1 going down. So right now we're 4-5, right?
Yeah.
We'll say now we're 5-6. So after that we get the Falcons at home. I think we can beat the Falcons. I think we
Yeah.
made that game, and we're 6-6.
Yeah.
Then we're home against the Texans. I don't like that matchup.
That's a loss. That's a loss.
That's a loss. 6-7. Then we're in Miami.
That's another loss.
6-8. The home against the Commanders.
That
That's
might be the
a
win.
win. That's
Yeah.
7-8. Then we're in Cleveland against
That's
the
a
Browns.
loss.
7-9.
That's a
And then
loss.
in New England for the last game of the year.
That's a win. 8-9.
All right, so 8-9. That's not really what I want, but
Me neither.
I'm all for the Tanks since they lost to the Raiders. I want them to lose every game outright right now. I want them to just stick with 4 wins.
we're going nowhere.
Oh, good grief. It's the right thought process, but I don't think it'll happen. But guys, this is where I'm going to end it. Thank you for your time. If you're looking for John, have Big Blue in the Bronx with Luke and Alex, the link is in the description. If you're looking for Alpha, he's everywhere. Yeah.
Yes. The schmuck is everywhere. The schmuck is everywhere.
He's here. He's at Big Blue in the Bronx. He's in Let's Talk Jets. He's
And coming back and coming soon. The returning Jets Turbulence podcast.
Yes. We forgot to announce that. Let's announce that.
Yeah, no. According to Joe, November 25th. That's the day after the Jet Dolphin game. There'll probably be a funeral and a eulogy on that stream.
Oh, God.
I don't know the time. That's all Joe and Dan. You know, they're figuring out all the details.
What can go wrong? Oh, wait, a lot of things. Everything can go off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
everybody thought they were canceling us. All you did was put us into hibernation, and karma came back to bite you in the ass. And look what happened. Aaron Rodgers down the drain, and this season down the toilet.
I thought they ended it once. Because Dan's the one that put on Twitter. He said, Jets turbulence is over. I have better offers. I'm like, okay, good luck. Hate to see good things come to an end. So I blame Dan for that, for putting that out there. But guys, thank you for coming on. I'm ending the stream. If you guys want to stick around and talk some more after, we can do that. But until next time, folks, God first, God bless. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. And until the next one, we're out of here. Peace. Go Jets. God help us, go Jets. Hold on, let me click it. Here we go, and we're out.